Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina for Pacific Tarot, and I'm getting ready to do a reading for you. This is the full moon in Pisces reading, active on the 27th of the month, which is also a partial lunar eclipse. And this marks almost the next to the last eclipse in a larger cycle that began a couple of years ago. And this cycle is fundamentally about the enormous release of old energy, old stories, old narratives, old conditioning, habits, routines that are no longer appropriate to your goals, your experience of the world. And it is ushering in a new version of yourself, one that you are patiently open to. And this openness is about being able to allow the possibilities that you have manifested to emerge, because you are losing an attachment to a particular outcome. You're very aware that what you've been manifesting, you're not quite sure what it looks like. And so ideally, we clear the space to allow this new truth, new opportunity, new possibility to emerge in its right time. So let's get started with your crystal spirit oracle, the more to your right, which is talking about this very process. That this is an energy of decluttering, list making, as you are releasing this old framework, this old construct around who you are and what you should do. And you're aware that this release is requiring a kind of organization. In other words, as you open up to this higher consciousness, this acceptance of divine support and presence, guidance in your life, that there is a lot of preparation you are doing to be better aligned with these possibilities that you have called in, you've been working towards. In the soul's journey, the happiness card. I love this because this is not only a confirmation for you that you're on the right path, but the strange ambiguity, the brain fog that you're experiencing, you accept or potentially accept as a validation of this, what you've been manifesting, what you've been hoping for. This release of an old past is bringing lightness and clarity, bringing a consciousness around preparing for the kind of abundance, the kind of prosperity that you want to experience in your life. So in the present energy, we have the moon card. Wow, this is bringing to mind your natural fluency with language, with thoughts, with ideas, with communicating ideas, with making information palatable to people so that they can receive it in a way that works for them. This is a skill set, a power that you use, and yet you're understanding fundamentally how large the energy is behind the language that you use, however you use that language, particularly in your professional and personal life. For many of you, this feels very, very much about the way the world sees you and the kind of service you bring to your community. And so you may use simple, clear, light words even, but you are communicating very serious thoughts, energies, emotions, even secrets through the very deceptively simple language you use. And you're now keyed into that. You may not have been keyed into the profundity of the service that you offer to others. And a simple example could be you're a real estate agent. You sell houses, and yet you market those in a way that is appealing to others, that makes a promise to them. And in the past, you may have taken this lightly. You may have looked at this in terms of your own benefit or prosperity as a result of providing a real service for others. But you're now understanding what you're really tapping into in this case. Selling homes is already a huge milestone for many people that are looking to purchase a home. No matter where they are, this is about deeply emotional chords, family memories, family histories, ancestry, the ownership of property. There are so many profound uh, energies that you are activating in the simple act, apparently simple, very cheerful act of selling a home, opening up homes, providing open houses for people to see a home that they're going to imagine themselves in. So that's an example of your deeper understanding of what your simpler words are conveying and how it requires you to dig down into your own history, your own family, your own ancestry, and understand better what you perhaps were unclear, even somewhat deceptive about in the past, in a way that you now recognize the opportunity you have to be more forthright, more sensitive to the needs of your clients and customers, so that you can provide for them better in a way that doesn't make false promises, that you don't present yourself as a false friend. In the past, the magician. This is talking about the real clarity and gift that you have in the past seen your service as being about, and particularly as an expression of your best talents, your ability to provide ubiquitous homes for people, which may look like, and I realize I'm extending the example here, but this relates to any professional service you provide to a community. So whatever your work is, as a teacher, you're understanding that teaching is something that expresses who you are, makes your talents available to others, provides a clear vision of what you can provide to your students, and something that makes information clear and available to others. This is perhaps the initial force behind your entry into a professional field you're a part of, or a way that you were naturally trained and or groomed to perform this service on behalf of those who mentored you. So there's a strong energy of ancestry here, of mentors, of being trained, of someone seeing a capacity in you that they helped to cultivate, helped you learn the ropes, and thus to adopt and adapt some of their habits, patterns, principles, very consciously at first, and then it became less clear as you progressed along this path, this professional path. In the future, the Strength card. Wow. This almost feels like you're through the other side of this experience. And here, being on the other side, this is less about the exchange, the profitable exchange in the services you provide, and more about cultivating the community of service providers as well as clients, the real education or support you're really offering through your services. This may be spending more time receiving feedback from the services that you have been providing for some time now. This can be about mentoring others in your professional field to understand the opportunities that they, as well as your clients or their clients or students or customers or audiences, are benefiting from your model of performance. So this is more about the principle. You're recognizing that what you have to offer is a measure of strength and security that is about inner stability, inner peace, inner comfort, in a way that as a strong person, a person with a lot of experience in this field, you have lived through this experience many times over and have learned to recognize the benefits beyond the literal material exchange of whatever that transaction is in your professional arena. I hope this is clear. This makes you happy because this is your stick. This is who you are. The Geminis I'm speaking to know what they're good at and have a broad network and have had opportunities to both be mentored, trained, groomed, and to do that on behalf of others. If this reading is resonating for you, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. Please note, dear Gemini, that you have all major arcana cards here. That doesn't happen very often. And for the Magician, the Two of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. For the Moon, the Eight of Pentacles. And for the Present, also we have the Star card. For the Strength card, we have the Lovers. And the Strength being in the future, the Six of Pentacles. Wow. The Lovers is one of your cards, Gemini. You may be aware of that, but it is about choice. And we start in the past with the Two of Swords, which is also about choice in a different way. This is about choosing whether you're going to hang on to the old way of doing things, the way you were trained, the status quo, despite the changes in your particular industry. There's a way you learn to do things. There's a template for the progression of exchange, and you followed that up until now. And yet you are being pulled in a new direction. You're being pulled away from the way others did it and towards a way that you are now understanding is more enlightened, provides more benefit to not only those you serve, but to yourself. Because the happiness is indicating that you're finding excessive value beyond the literal exchange that you're engaged in, the work that you're doing, whatever that work is. Each successful exchange, successful or failed, it really doesn't matter. Each exchange teaches you more about how you can help others in profound ways. And you're leaning more towards that happiness naturally for yourself and others. But this is something that you have had to uncover. And you've spent quite a bit of time really looking at your own fears and failures, your own disappointments, the way perhaps you were mistrained, the way you don't share the values of those who perhaps trained you, the way the industry has changed and requires you to work differently, but you are working as hard as ever. You understand that however you improve your skills, you are improving yourself as a person. You love what you do. This is very obvious. You're very good at it. And you never stop working at some level. Even when you're socializing, you're working. Even as you meditate or pray, you recognize that any improvement in your character, your temperament, in your situation, your environment, improves the work that you offer to others. The Star card is absolutely beautiful. This is really validating that despite the many difficult, dark times you uh, triumphed over, you have been successful in confronting and being honest with yourself. That is key. You never lost hope. And that hope is now a real beacon to you. That hope is revealing itself. It is emerging out of a dark time, a time when you really did have to struggle with your own demons, your own energy, your own perhaps shameful or regrettable behavior, perhaps the misdeeds that you were party to, that you recognize the damage that was done, not to others exclusively, but again to you. And you're now reinvested in the possibilities that exist in the world, in your community. In the future, the Lovers and the Six of Pentacles clarifies the Strength card. This is talking about what you have chosen instead. Choosing yourself, not the short-term profit from each exchange, not the higher test scores that your students may exhibit after a semester with your teaching in your particular subject, not the accolades or the raises you've received as a member of your professional team, but instead you have committed to a heartfelt, equal, just exchange in all of your energies. And this always has to do, obviously, with love, money, relationships, a stability of home, but it's more of the way that you communicate and how that's changed from your original, very apparently simple, cheerful, uplifting presentation. So that has now become more complex in your own experience. You don't take for granted what the long-term benefit that your customers, students, or clients are coming to you with an expectation that you can at least provide the information that is needed for them to transact a successful, equal, fair exchange. And this has become your mantra because you have lived through enough experiences to recognize that what helps you helps others, what hurts others hurts you. You are now opting for long-term benefit. And this is part of what you are sustaining, what you are providing when you offer to help others, not just the customers, clients, students, or others that come to you with an expectation of service, but those that you work with, those that are coming behind you, those that see your example as a model of professional practice, of principled practice, of just practice, of fairness that leads to everyone's benefit. I'm going to finish this reading with a flower oracle, Gemini, and hope this has been insightful for you, helpful. And I pulled the gardenia, awareness. Wake up, roll the clouds away, and look. That really does take us right back to the geminitarot, right? The whole idea is that you're aware that you've been doing so much work to clear away, release old information, old blueprints, old maps, old values that no longer serve you, but you are busy preparing for the success of this higher awareness that you bring to the service you provide and its ultimate potential happiness that it brings to you and your community. So thank you, Gemini, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.